What if everything you knew about Michael Jackson's death was wrong? The official story points to his doctor, but a deeper look reveals a chilling narrative of power, betrayal, and a secret meeting that may have sealed his fate. This isn't just a conspiracy theory. It's a story about the ruthless business of music. Let's break it down. First, understand that Michael wasn't just a performer, he was a business titan. His masterstroke? Buying the Beatles catalog in 1985, which made him a 50% owner of Sony ATV.
As I've said on so many occasions, Michael Jackson was a business genius. He was a genius. He wasn't just a musical genius. Michael Jackson mastered all aspects of the music industry. Remember when Eminem dissed him and he bought Eminem's catalog? Michael Jackson bought Eminem's catalog when he dissed him. Mike was gangster, and Mike was murdered because when Michael Jackson purchased the Beatles catalog, that automatically made him 50% owner of Sony Records. Sony Records never forgave Michael Jackson for buying the Beatles catalog. They wanted the Beatles catalog back. So what did they do? They sabotaged Michael Jackson's last album, Invincible, which automatically put Michael Jackson into debt. They wanted Michael Jackson to satisfy his debt by giving up the Beatles catalog. And Michael said, no, I'm going to go on tour. Everybody wants to see me again. I'm going to go on tour, make this money, pay all off. And Michael Jackson made a mistake. He came back to LA to practice at the Staples Center, where another assassinated black celebrity, Kobe Bryant, used to play. And they murdered Michael Jackson. And that black doctor was made the fall guy. He only went to jail for a couple years. He's out now, I believe, and he's going to live happily ever after for keeping his mouth shut about how the music industry murdered Michael Jackson. And also keep in mind, Art, Michael Jackson was brought up on pedophilia charges as soon as he entered a bid to buy Marvel Comics. Michael Jackson was going to be the owner of Marvel Comics. Imagine if Michael Jackson would have produced a Black Panther movie. Imagine if Michael Jackson would have produced the Black Panther movie. The white power structure of America didn't want Michael Jackson owning Marvel Comics, so they set it up for him to be accused of sexual molestation. And remember, one of the white boys who he was accused of touching went on one of them talk shows, what was about 3 years ago? And what did he say? Michael Jackson never touched us.
This move made him unimaginably powerful and powerful enemies. Sony never forgave him. When his last album, Invincible, was allegedly sabotaged, it plunged him into debt. They offered a way out. Give up the catalog. Michael refused, choosing instead a comeback tour. He was a king who wouldn't surrender his crown, and in this game, that made him a target. This is where the plot thickens. To pressure Michael, they needed to destroy his public image. Enter Jack Gordon, a manager with ties to organized crime, married to Michael's sister, Latoya. Gordon took Latoya to a secret meeting in Tel Aviv. Before this trip, she fiercely defended Michael's innocence, but during that trip, an impromptu press conference was called. Watch this stunning reversal. She flipped completely.
I must tell you that this is very difficult for me.
That Michael is my brother. I love him a great deal. But I cannot, and I will not, be a silent collaborator of his crimes against small, innocent children. And if I remain silent, then that means that I feel the guilt and the humiliation that these children are feeling, and I think it's very wrong. I have seen checks payable to the parent of these children. And I don't know if these children were apparently bought to the parents by Michael or not. But I have seen these checks, and I've seen these checks through my mother. She's shown me these checks that Michael had written to these children, and it's for a great amount. And I'm not speaking pennies. The sums are a very, very large amount. And this is my first time talking about it, and I never want to speak about it. I never want to say anything about it. But I think it's sad because I am a victim myself, and I know what it feels like. And these kids are going to be scarred for the rest of their life, and I don't want to see any more innocent small children being affected this way. I love Michael very dearly, but I feel even more sorry for these children because they don't have a life anymore. They stop, and you think for 1 second, and you tell me what 35-year-old man is going to take a little boy and stay with him for 30 days? And take another boy and stay with him for 5 days in a room and never leave the room. How many would take little kids and do that are 9, 10, 11 years old?
Years later, she would reveal the truth. Gordon forced her. She said he handed her a script and threatened her life. This wasn't a change of heart. It was a coordinated hit on Michael's character, orchestrated to make him surrender his assets from a position of utter weakness.
Such an abusive relationship, the things that went on that the world had no clue that was going on. And he promised me if I tried to escape or get away or didn't do what he wanted or asked me to do, that he would kill me. And he was very adamant about it. I knew that that's exactly what he would do. So I figured if I can escape this and get away, then other people can do it too, because you're in a situation where you feel that you cannot get away from that. And I don't know what it is, but I think they get to your self-esteem.
You accuse Michael of being a...
Yes.
But I cannot and I will not be a silent collaborator of his crimes.
Gordon gave me this piece of paper and he says, read this. He goes, you better say this, you say this.
Jack Gordon forced you to say that your brother was a pedophile. Did you think he was?
No, I did not. The courts have proven that too as well.
Why did Jack Gordon want you to say that your brother was a pedophile?
He had this hatred towards my brother that I can never explain to you why it was.
Just to make things very clear, you recanted your accusation. Are you sure today that your brother never had any undue relationship with a child?
Barbara, Michael is not. He is not.
He is not a...
No, he's not. I knew Michael was surrounded by people that positioned themselves in his life, positioned themselves to control and take advantage of him. And that's what bothered me more than anything else, because I knew something terrible would happen at the end, not to mention the fact that Michael constantly told me, Latoya, if I die, they're going to murder me, they're going to kill me. He would tell me that, Barbara. When I found out he had actually passed, I said, no, it wasn't an accident. He was murdered.
Your brother was murdered.
I always believed that from day one, when I found out that he was no longer with us. I said, I'm not going to accept anything else, Barbara. They could have told me a heart attack. They could have told me he had fallen off a ladder, and I would have said, no, it's not a heart attack. He was murdered. Did he fall off a ladder? No, he was murdered.
Who murdered your brother?
I don't know exactly who. I think there are more players involved than we know. This is just my opinion. This is what I feel. I know what Michael was afraid of. I know that when you're in a position...
What was he afraid of?
He was afraid of his life. He would say, I'm afraid of my life. I'm afraid they're going to assassinate me. I'm afraid they're going to kill me. He would always say that, Barbara.
Administered by this man. Did Dr. Conrad Murray murder your brother?
Barbara, something went wrong.
It has been reported that Michael's eldest son, Prince, was summoned by Dr. Murray to help resuscitate Michael, Prince's own father. That must have been a terrible experience for him. Is it true?
Yes, he did call Prince. He watched him do this, Barbara, and you don't do that to a child. You don't do that to a child, especially when you knew, prior to asking that child to come up, that Michael was no longer alive.
You feel that Michael was dead long before he went to the hospital?
Oh, yes.
Latoya, you signed the death certificate.
Yes, I did. The doctor wouldn't sign it.
Dr. Conrad Murray would not sign the death
sign
certificate?
It. No.
Did you find that strange?
Everyone did.
From the very beginning, Latoya has said that Michael Jackson was murdered.
It was murder. I think someone did it. That's my opinion.
But it wasn't until 2 weeks ago that the Los Angeles County coroner backed up her claim, ruling the death a homicide, although not necessarily premeditated murder. Do you blame Dr. Murray?
Barbara, I blame any and everybody who was instrumental in Michael's life, providing him with drugs, because it was wrong.
Your brother was a wonderful and sweet person, you say.
When defamation and financial pressure failed, what's left? Latoya herself has always believed Michael was murdered. He told her repeatedly, "They're going to kill me." His death in 2009, ruled a homicide by the coroner, conveniently cleared the path for his debt-ridden estate to sell his 50% of Sony/ATV back to Sony for $750 million, a fraction of its true value. The very asset at the center of this war was finally seized. The fall guy, Dr. Conrad Murray, went to jail, but the question remains, was he just a pawn in a much larger game? So, what's the truth? The evidence suggests Michael Jackson's death wasn't a simple accident with a negligent doctor. It was the potential endgame of a decades-long battle over power, ownership, and unimaginable wealth. A battle with a secret meeting, a coerced sister, and a king who refused to be dethroned. The narrative of a tragic, self-inflicted downfall is easier to swallow. But sometimes, the simpler story exists to hide a far more uncomfortable one. What do you think? Was Michael Jackson a victim of the industry he mastered? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If this deep dive made you question the narrative, hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more untold stories. Thanks for watching.